Coming up, we did 7 Walt Disney World resorts in 7 nights, and today we talk about Disney's Contemporary Resort and the Bay Lake Towers. Coming up next. The Dis Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, specializing in helping you plan the perfect Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney Cruise Line vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by our producer, Dustin West, our associate producer, Sean Thompson, our president and chief webmaster and guy who does everything else, Corey Martin, our associate producer, back in the production nook, I'm going to call him Sean Thompson, Craig Williams, and of course, spawn of Bob, Brian Varley, back there as well. We are talking about Disney's Contemporary Resort. At one point, one of the resorts that I gave quite a scathing review to. As a matter of fact, I think it was one of our first resorts that I did a hotel review on. Had a terrible experience. It was awful. And didn't go back for a long time. And actually the last time, then I had gone to do a review right before Bob passed. Bob and I had gone and done the Contemporary and had a much better experience. And I've done it a couple of times since then.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say that this experience was pretty good. I think of all the rooms on Walt Disney property, in terms of design and just feel, I think these are the best.
I agree.
I think they are absolutely stunning. You know, used to be, for those of you who may remember the Contemporary back in the day, when it looked like the Jetsons threw up all over the place, those days are gone. Those days are gone. Now it's more of an elegant postmodern look. Do I have that right? Would you classify it?
Definitely. Simplistic. It's like the very, very fine lines throughout. It's very simplistic.
Yeah.
And very comfortable rooms. 2 queen beds. Let's get a room shot. There we go. 2 queen beds, sofa. Nice dark wood, really just great color choices.
Yeah, the design is beautiful.
The green and the yellows, I really like that.
And that mocha on the walls really kind of offsets everything well. For those of you watching video, you're seeing the pictures. Those of you listening to the show, disunplug.com, links to the videos, the photos, everything else that we're doing.
The work desk is amazing.
I love the work desk. Do we have a shot of the work desk close up? Nope.
No, we'll have it in the gallery.
It'll be in the
These
gallery,
are just
though.
Summaries.
This great, like, smoked glass, kidney-shaped work desk.
And it had this cool, like, smaller table that pulled out from underneath it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Really comfortable room. We were in the tower. We actually had technically we had 3 rooms because this was the night we did our Drink Around the World, so I wanted everybody on property for that. Nobody was driving except me, but I wasn't drinking, so... we had 2 rooms in the tower, not in concierge, and 1 room over at Bay Lake. We had a studio over at Bay Lake Towers. Just, first of all, it's a lot more expensive to stay in the tower than it is in one of the garden wings.
Right.
Those are your 2 options for rooms at the Contemporary. Well, 3 options if you count Bay Lake. But the thing about the rooms in the tower is you can get a theme park view, which we had.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me at Disney World happened the night we stayed there. I was having trouble sleeping. About 3 o'clock in the morning. So I go sit out in the balcony for a little while, have a cigarette, just kind of chill and, figure, maybe it's time to go to bed. And as the thought crossed my mind, maybe it's time to go to bed, the finale fireworks at the Magic Kingdom went off. 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I tell you, I mean, it was the finale fireworks. It was just this huge fireworks display. And I'm sitting there, my mouth agape at 3 o'clock in the morning, these fireworks are going off. And I'm like, They have got to be waking up every person in this hotel right now. But not one of you heard it, did you?
No, but it was also the night after drinks around the world.
But when I went back into the room and closed the door because I wanted to see, I couldn't hear anything.
That's something a lot of people ask about, is how loud it is, especially with the monorail going through. But I mean, you don't hear that, do you?
None of it. I didn't hear anything. He didn't wake up.
No.
You guys didn't wake up. So, sorry, I'm parched. I thought that was pretty impressive that they have soundproofed those rooms really well. I think because of the fact that the main building in the Contemporary is an A-frame, so it's very cavernous, which means, you know, when they're doing breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning at Chef Mickey's, you can hear it all over the place, except in your rooms. We weren't here. I didn't hear anything. So I know that's one of the concerns. That's why I wanted to mention that.
Well, we don't really have a photo of that view that we got, but
There you do.
Do we?
Check it out. I was just a few rooms down from you.
Okay. I knew I had
You might have one in there.
I know in my video. Oh, there it is. Yeah, in my video I have a shot too, but you can see Space Mountain and the castle right
It's
there.
a really nice balcony, too.
Yeah.
It's nice size balconies. And remember, the Contemporary was among the first resorts built at Walt Disney World, so the rooms are larger, the balconies are larger. This is before they figured out they could put you in a shoebox and charge you $500 a night for it, and you'll pay it.
Well, before we go on any further, did you want to cut to that video?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Dustin has a video put together of our stay at the Contemporary, a little overview, and we will cut to that now. All right, thank you very much for that, Dustin.
Yep.
Love your hotel videos.
Yes.
That's such a great job with it.
I hope so.
Talking about the rooms, let's discuss the rack rates. And something I want to make clear that I haven't in some of the other shows that we've done. When I talk about these rates, these are Disney's published rack rates. There are specials and discounts that go on throughout the year for annual pass holders, Florida residents, other specials, spring offers, you can get these rooms at a lesser price. But this is the published rate. For a garden wing, this is not in the tower, this is kind of off to the side. A garden wing room, standard, off-season, and I'm looking at early January, $330 a night. And in peak season, which is over Christmas, New Year's, $551 a night is the published rate. Now, you have several different categories of rooms here. You have a garden wing standard view, a garden wing garden view, a garden wing king room or deluxe room, a tower room with a view of Bay Lake, or a tower room with a view of the Magic Kingdom. Now, of course, the Magic Kingdom rooms command the biggest premium.
Yeah.
And everybody would like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So a standard room in the garden wing is $330 a night off season. A Magic Kingdom view room in the tower is $507.
Yeah.
So $177 a night premium for that. So you pay for it.
It's not only view, but it's location. I mean, the garden wings aren't that far away from anything. It's right next to the pool, but being right there on the concourse and inside the main building, that's a huge plus.
Now, and by contrast, over holiday season, $551 a night, as I said, for garden wing standard view, $715 a night for a Magic Kingdom view in the tower. So these can get expensive, and that is not the concierge level. It's not club level. Club level, expect to add another $150 to $200 a night at least for those rooms. But the rooms up on the club level can be there's some very large rooms up there. They have rooms with bidets in them, which I cannot
thought it was a water fountain.
I used to wash my face.
Yeah, we were in Europe when we were in Paris. Dustin was drinking out of the bidet. He thought it was a water fountain. So the Contemporary is definitely not an inexpensive hotel, but neither are any of the other deluxes that Disney has. But there are definitely some perks. Biggest perk for me of the Contemporary is it is literally a 3-minute walk to the Magic Kingdom. It's right next to it.
Yeah.
And
nice little walkway there, especially on a busy night at Magic Kingdom after the fireworks or the parade lets out and everybody's going to the buses, or you see that long line for the monorail. You just take a short little walk.
It's such a good feeling to pass all those people and just walk back to your resort. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So location here is prime.
Even to get to Epcot, you just walk down you go down the elevator, get on the monorail, and you just switch over at TTC. It's really easy.
The monorail passes directly through the A-frame of the Contemporary, so you can just pick the monorail up right there. Some of the other notable highlights of the Contemporary, one of the more popular character meals on Disney property takes place at Chef Mickey's. And how good this breakfast is always a matter of debate. You have some people that love it, some people that hate it. We did not get an opportunity to eat at Chef Mickey's.
I was there the other day though, and I was looking at the breakfast buffet, and it looked pretty good.
It's an extensive buffet. Yeah. They really do a good job, and there's a lot of characters. How good the character interaction is, I can't really speak to because I haven't done it in a while. The last time I did Chef Mickey's was actually that review that I did with Bob.
Yeah, we were there. I remember that.
Good thing about this Chef Mickey's breakfast is it's one of the few places that has like all the main characters for breakfast. It's Mickey and Donald and Goofy and Minnie. It's it's the Fab Five and Pluto. All the other ones have like strange woodland creatures and whatnot. So this is if you want to see those characters and then wave your napkin around.
Your dirty napkin.
Yeah, your dirty napkin, breadcrumbs going everywhere.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, they do that like every 15 minutes. We're going to celebrate, everybody. And you spin your napkin around.
Oh, is that at Chef Mickey's too?
And waffle crumbs go everywhere.
And like utensils, knives are going all
getting pegged in the face with a fork. Also, in terms of, we'll talk dining for a moment. In my opinion, one of the worst restaurants on Disney property lives in the Contemporary, The Wave. The Wave of American Flavors. Now, the whole shtick behind this restaurant is that it's all locally grown, organic, sustainable, very tree-hugging hippie, which is fine because I've had some very, very good tree hugging hippie food in my life. And when the Wave first opened, it was one of those places. It was one of those places. The food was very, very good. And then the general manager got hit in the head, or something happened, because the food went downhill and the service in this restaurant has been abysmal. John and Kevin raved about this restaurant when it first opened. And they have diligently gone back, hoping, praying that they have a better experience. And invariably they come back saying the same thing. I've done the same thing. I've been there a couple of times. And the service is downright rude.
Wow.
Is downright rude is the service that we've had there. And the food is just completely uninspired. And we're supposed to be impressed that they won't serve wines that have corks.
Oh, is that their thing?
Well, it's like because like cork it's a big thing right now that I guess cork is going to go extinct, or I don't know, but no corks in the wines. It's all twist offs, which used to mean the wine was crap, but that doesn't mean that anymore. But so it's kind of that whole. It's very green. It's very, which, like I said, in and of itself is not a problem because that food can be extremely good. Unfortunately, here it's not, nor is the service. Complete waste of time, especially when you consider one of the best restaurants on Disney property sits on the 14th floor of this resort, the California Grill.
Which is under rehab while we were there.
Which is under rehab. When does that open again?
I think they said late summer, early fall. Or is it later than that?
I think it's the fall of 2013.
Yeah, this fall.
I've never been up there. Is that when you're looking at the tower? Is that like all that big bank of windows?
If you take a look at the picture sitting in front of you, all up there on the top, that little round.
You can see the construction too, right there. It says it opens August 31st to be exact.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So the California Grill is absolutely a gem, and there were times let me tell you a little story.
All about how.
Haven't told this story in a long time. I've mentioned that back in 2000, Dreams Unlimited was only about 6 months old. And we came up with an idea, a marketing idea called Around the World in 30 Days. Not unsimilar to what we're kind of doing with these 7 and 7s, except it was Disney Cruise Line, Disney World. We stayed in every resort for at least one night. And they had just started doing the 7-night itineraries on the Magic, and we did that as part of it as well. And it was a huge undertaking. And we were doing like live updates and videos and stuff like that long before a lot of other places were doing it. And, I think now about the resources and the equipment and staff that we have and what we could do with that. But then I think about the amount of work that went into doing Around the World in 30 Days. But I was being interviewed by a reporter from a travel trade magazine, and we were at the California Grill having dinner doing the interview. And I kid you not, a cockroach ran across the table in the middle of the interview. And I begged this reporter, please don't publish that. At this point, we were trying to get on Disney's good side.
Yeah.
We were a brand new company. I just started Dreams. They were giving me this amazing access, and I didn't want to screw it up. But, a cockroach ran across the table.
Nowadays, that would have been the focus of that interview.
Now, yeah, exactly. We would have had Vine video. That being said, I've been at the California Grill dozens of times since then. I've never seen any bugs. But it really was a one-off. I mean, it's Florida. You've got them. They're here. I don't care where you are. It's Florida. That's an issue, and it's going to happen.
Well, much like the Contemporary itself, it seems like, from what I understand, the California Grill seems to evolve quite frequently. They're constantly updating it. Much like they are the rest of the resort.
Well, there's also I think the menu kind of changes seasonally. Mm-hmm. This is a culinary experience restaurant.
Yeah.
This is up there with, Citrico's, Victoria and Albert's. These are world-class chefs and that are making amazing dishes and constantly evolving and changing, coming up with new ideas. I understand when it opens in the fall, there are some significant changes to the California Grill, not the least of which is one of the most popular sushi dishes is going away. Was it snake in the grass or something? Or
I've had sushi there once, but I don't know the roll they're taking away or the dish.
Well, I know it's known for its sushi, and actually the sushi chef at the Contemporary, I forgot her name. I should be more prepared. Sorry.
Is that one of those things where, like, if it's not there, it's going to ruin people's vacation?
I think a lot of people are going to be upset that at least I don't have the exact details. I've just been hearing about it, that she is no longer there. And she was the one, this sushi chef, and I really apologize, I don't know her name. She was the one that when the Dream and the Fantasy both were doing their inaugural transatlantic crossings to come over to Port Canaveral, she spent 2-3 weeks on that ship training them how to do sushi.
Wow.
But she's like, people love sushi at the California Grill, and there are apparently changes coming to that. I don't think they're getting rid of sushi, but I think there was one of their dishes that was really popular. It's going away, and some other things. So I don't know, but California Grill, can't wait to see it reopen.
Chef Yoshi.
Chef Yoshi, that's right.
How could you forget that?
I know. Well, because I'm not as big a geek as you are. That's not true at all, but we'll go with that for now.
For what I'm seeing, the sushi is definitely still going to be there. So they can't get rid of that.
No, they're not getting rid of sushi, but I know that I want to say it was called Snake in the Grass or something. Walter, when he had this dish, lost his mind. And, gauging Walter's reaction to food is, how's your dinner? It's good. Which means it's not good. How's your dinner? How's your dinner? Oh, it's good. Which means it's okay. How's your dinner? This is really good. Rave. Rave. So.
Yeah, she started back in 1995. That's when she convinced them to add sushi to the menu, but she's leaving.
She's going bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But, so, yeah, that's one of the changes coming to the California Grill.
Right.
But, again, amazing dining experience right there in the Contemporary. We did our meals in their quick service location. And let me bring up my notes. Sorry.
This is different than any sort of food court you go to. You go to a computer, you choose what you want, and then you take your ticket, you pay for it, and then bring your paid ticket.
It's kind of like the one
to the window.
Right.
Yeah.
What is that called? Captain Jack's?
Captain Cook's.
Captain Cook's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had some issues though with the dining plan at the Contemporary. They kept saying that Sean and Craig had no credits.
Yeah, it was really interesting. We had just checked in, and so we went to the quick service to get our mugs and also to get something quick for breakfast, I think a snack credit. And when we went up to the register with our mugs, she scanned it and she said, you don't have any credits. You only have one mug credit, and you have absolutely no quick service or snack credits. And
we had just checked in.
It was really confusing. And I said, no, we just checked in. And she said, no, I'm sorry, this is what the computer's showing. And so we went down to the front desk, and sure enough, everything was still there. We hadn't used anything. And so she printed it off for me.
And he gave us a printout to prove it.
Yes, we had a print off of everything that we had. So I went back up, and the exact same thing happened. And so I pulled out the piece of paper, and I was like, well, no, we just checked at the front desk, and this is what we have. And she didn't understand. She didn't understand. And so she got her supervisor. And it turns out the problem was that she was not clearing the folio on the register. So because of this new My Magic Plus stuff and the new RFID chips in the cards, if the cast member working the register doesn't clear the previous guest's information out of the register, their information will show up for you.
Will it charge that person that was there before you?
It won't charge their stuff, but just the information associated with their account.
So it looks like you have no credits.
So it looks like you have no credits. So what I was actually seeing, or what she was seeing, was the previous guest's information. Right. They had been there for a few days. They used up all their credits. So it prevented us from getting our stuff, which was really annoying.
Right.
So the supervisor explained it to us that either the cast member had to swipe the card in the register itself, or just to remember to clear that folio, which shouldn't be our problem. I mean,
well, we had heard about that problem like really early on when
especially
they
with
first started talking about
Right.
Magic Plus,
especially in like merchandise locations
Yeah.
when people are buying a lot of merchandise, you worry that you're going to get charged,
Right.
or
Yes,
someone else is
for
going to get
somebody
charged
else's stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
What did we think of the food at the?
I really love the food here. There's a wide variety of selections. So like there are flatbreads, salads, and all kinds of different things.
I agree. Also, subbing certain things, like of course you've heard that I want whole wheat bread with my sandwiches. You ring it in, and when you go to pay for it, you just tell the person ringing you up, sub whole wheat. She presses a button.
Yeah.
It's said and done. No questions asked. It was
Right
perfect.
now, like some other locations on Disney property, this is self-order. You have touchscreen kiosks that you go up to, and you put in your order, and then you go get your beeper, and when your order's ready, you pay for it, and you're on your way.
Yeah. I had the flatbread. It was like a pepperoni flatbread. It was just a pizza, and it was good.
I think I had a grilled chicken sandwich. It
But-
was very good.
We had because we were on the dining plan and we were like being forced to have desserts. I got a red velvet cupcake, which was the best thing
Ridiculous.
I've ever had in my entire life.
Ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. I will say that generally speaking, on this round of 7 and 7s, I found the quick service to be quite good, generally speaking. Of course, there was the All-Star Music issue, but beyond that, I mean, we really didn't have any major food or service failures when it came to the quick service restaurants.
No.
Didn't see a lot of tables for 5 or more in there.
Yeah, that's true. That was
That was a little difficult. We had to sit at 2 tables.
And I think back to Kevin's original review of that, and it's very true. It's very quiet. I think the acoustics in that place like absorbs all the sound, and it's just very kind of dead in that space. But the food's great. I can't complain there. But it is a little hospital waiting room.
Now, when we stayed at the deluxe resorts or any resort that had table service, instead of getting the quick service dining plan, we would get the table service dining plan, which I find to be a much better value, much easier to get your money's worth off the tables, off the regular dining plan as opposed to the quick service. And that particular night, we're not going to go into it now because it's part of our discussion for our Drink Around the World, which will actually air on the 18th of June, I want to say. Yeah.
Ish.
But we went to the Flying Fish over at the boardwalk for that. California Grill was closed. I was not wasting a table service credit at the Wave.
Well, how was the Wave, Corey? Because you had an appetizer entree there one night.
I thought it was great. The we sat at the bar, we were just killing time, and I ordered a little snack entree.
Understand that the word snack, what that means to you and me, is not what it means to Corey Martin.
I forget. I don't know
was
the
a full
name.
steak entree,
Yeah,
right?
it was a full steak entree. I think it was like a sirloin or something like that. But I thought it was great.
Yeah, the food was good. Craig and I shared like an appetizer trio kind of thing. There were like tacos. But the service thing was definitely apparent there too. The bartender was
Yeah, he
in
just
a
wasn't
bad
having
mood or
it.
something. I don't know
Yeah.
what was going on.
No, they have more attitude in that restaurant, and I can't understand why.
Yeah. I mean, there
I
was
don't understand servers that have attitude to begin with. You're waiting tables. I'm sorry. I mean, you
You're
can be
working on
really,
tips.
really, really good and work in a really good place and make really good money. I'm not saying you can't, but you're waiting tables. You can't walk around like you're own something. It just, I don't know.
I ordered a glass of red wine, and I know wine. I know when it's bad and when it smells bad. So he poured the glass. I didn't even have to taste it. I could smell it. I'm like, ooh, that's been open for a while. I can tell. He looks at the bottle. He goes, well, we don't keep our bottles open for more than 24 hours. So this was like a Thursday. No, this was like a Wednesday when we were there. And I'm like, well, it smells bad. If you opened it yesterday, he said he turns it around and it says Monday on it. I'm like, what? It's Monday. It was just bad. It was just a bad bottle. He opened up a new one, and it was like light years.
Yeah, night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks.
Don't
oxygen,
argue with me when it comes to wine.
Oxygen does stuff to wine. Now it needs to breathe in the first few minutes after it's open. A good bottle of red, but 2 days later, it doesn't taste good.
No.
Yeah, and you knew it instantly.
Yeah.
The second he poured it, you smelled it. You didn't even taste it. You said, "No, this is
bad."
bad." And he started to argue with you.
Yeah, I was about to say, and that's
Yeah.
okay as long as he doesn't put up a fight about it. You know,
Right. The minute you say this is not an acceptable glass of wine, you need to get another one. So,
Figures.
but I do want to go back though to check in and talk about how good our cast member was. That I had made some errors in my setting all this up, and this woman was not. So it was not Disney's fault. It was not the Contemporaries' fault. It was my fault, and and even though I kept saying that to her, this is not your fault, not your fault. Bent over backwards, acted like it was,
Yeah.
and it was something they had to fix. And they really worked with us, and they were great. They were great. I can't. And then when we had to go down for the dining issue to the check-in desk, he was wonderful. So we had great interactions with the cast
Yeah, we
members
did.
there. Talk about the pools, and you guys were out doing the pool thing.
We didn't really do the pool thing, but we went out and took some photos. The pool at the Contemporary. We saw it briefly at Bay Lake, but the pool was set right on Bay Lake, so it overlooks almost like from a certain angle. It looks like there's a drop off into the lake. It's a huge pool, even though it wasn't very packed out there. It can hold a lot of people. It's right there on the beach where there's a volleyball court.
Right along the lake that you are not supposed to swim in.
And now this is the one at Bay Lake Towers you're talking about.
No, this is the
No,
one
this
at
is the one at
Contemporary.
Contemporary. So there's
Okay.
two actually. There's the big, huge, kind of bigger family style pool. There's like fountains in it, and there's even like a smaller kids area with like a
Yeah.
splash zone to the side.
Yeah, with the slides and everything.
But then there's actually this nice like adult quiet pool that's really close to the water. It's like a circle, and they have like four cabanas in the corners.
That's like going past the marina.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
The
It's
boats
right
are.
actually adjacent to the marina.
Yeah.
It's nice. But it's just a circular pool. It's not really for like splashing around.
This is also, and as you said, this is where the marina is, where you can rent watercraft. And
And there's Sammy Duval's out there where you can do parasailing, jet skiing, wakeboarding.
I do have one complaint about this pool area, and it's the bar. It's
The
kind
sandbar?
of the sandbar. It's kind of it's not open like most other pool bars. It's closed doors. You would not want to hang out.
It's not the same experience at like Wilderness Lodge, for example. You can just
Yeah.
sit out there and just.
Right.
It looks more like an ice cream shop.
Yeah,
It does.
It's a grab and go kind of place. Go sit at a table outside.
I love ice cream shops that sell liquor.
But yeah, that's my only complaint there.
Now, let's move over to Bay Lake Towers. Now, for those not familiar, Bay Lake Towers is part of the Disney Vacation Club, which is Disney's timeshare wing. And in this facility, you have studio 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. Are there grand villas in Bay Lake Towers?
I'm not sure.
I want to say no, there's not, but I could be wrong on that. But definitely studio 1 and 2 bedroom units. And DVC members will tell you that there has been some issues.
There are grand villas.
There are grand villas. There have been some issues with the furniture at Bay Lake Towers. Apparently, when this was built, the head of DVC decided to go on the cheap with some of the furniture, and of course, when it gets used the way this stuff gets used, you have a lot of wear and tear. Now, did you see any of that? Sean and Craig stayed in Bay Lake Towers. Did you see any wear and tear, anything like that?
I didn't actually. Everything was in really good condition.
Go ahead.
No, that's all. What were you gonna say?
I saw a lot. There was like dings and cuts all over everything. I guess not cuts, but I didn't think it was in great condition.
On what
at all.
specifically?
A lot of like the cabinets.
I did see stuff
drawers.
on like the entertainment center, like where the TV was. There were a couple scuffs, but overall, nothing really that I noticed.
It wasn't horrible. I wasn't impressed with the room at all.
Now you guys had a studio, right?
We had a studio had one queen bed, and then a sofa that pulled out into another bed.
It was small. The living
It was fairly
slash
small, yeah.
sleeping space was pretty small because, like you said, there's really only room for a couch and a queen bed. But the bonus of that was you had this whole separate kitchen area.
There was this kind of small hallway kind of next to the bathroom, and the sink was actually in there. There was no sink in the bathroom.
Oh, that's
so you
weird.
would have to open the door, leave, then go into the kitchen to wash your hands, which is
It's a little embarrassing if you yeah.
well.
Especially for Sean.
At least there was a door with no window that Corey could look in on.
No, that was at the poly.
That was the poly.
That was,
That was so creepy.
Do we have that picture when we get to the poly?
Yeah, we do.
We'll have it. We'll have it. Yeah.
But yeah, the kitchen was nice. There were cabinets. There were two sinks actually. So there was the sink that went with the bathroom that was up against the wall that shared the bathroom, but you still had to exit and go
Yeah.
into the section. And then there was a kitchen sink. It was kind of like a metal one with kind of the longer,
a little deeper, and
It was deeper. You could do dishes in it. There was like a sponge and
did
stuff.
it come stocked with any dishes or cups?
A few things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
they
a
usually
lot.
do.
I actually think it was paper plates and stuff like that.
Now, in the studios, these are little kitchenette type areas, whereas in the 1 and 2 bedrooms in the Grand Villas, you're actually getting more of a full kitchen with a stove and a range.
My question is, who would typically stay in a room built like that? Would that be like a adult couple with 2 very small children?
Ooh, I don't even know
No,
about that.
no, I think
maybe
people
with
that
one kid
are like really interested in like cooking for themselves, or at least like special dietary needs, because there's a microwave and a fridge, so you could keep stuff in there.
Yeah.
If, for example, you needed to cook or do things like that.
Well-
But I don't think more than 2 or 3 people would stay in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd feel comfortable with one other person in there, but the room was so tiny.
Yeah.
And everything was so compact. I think I'd start getting claustrophobic if I was
Yeah.
staying there
Yeah.
more than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
If we stayed there with the kids, we would just be packed in there
Right.
because you got to think 2 strollers in addition to the bags and everything
Yeah.
else. It's a small space.
Yeah.
We did have a nice balcony. We were overlooking Bay Lake.
Yeah, you were overlooking the pool in the middle.
Yeah, we could look directly down. We were almost in the center, actually,
Yeah.
so you could just look right down. There were 2 chairs out there, a small table, so you could go out there and read.
And as is the case with all DVC properties that are attached to a resort, they have their own pool as well. Now, DVC members certainly can use the main pool, but I don't believe regular guests are able to use.
It seemed like
you have
they-
key access, and I'm not sure if you have to have a Bay Lake specific key.
Is the pool surrounded by a gate?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was about to say, just getting into Bay Lake Tower itself didn't seem that closed off as far as key access was concerned.
But I don't know if someone that just has a key to a regular room at the Contemporary could
I
get
should have
into that
tried
pool.
it.
Yeah.
Tried my key.
Now, there's also an observation tower at the top of Bay Lake Tower, and I believe they do some hors d'oeuvres and things like that.
Top of the World Lounge. Yeah.
Yeah, the top of the World Lounge. But that access is only for DVC members and those people staying there on points.
So, for example, we had no access to
not
this
get
because there were
Right,
no
because-
DVC members amongst us.
You can rent these units, the Studio 1, 2 bedroom Grand Villa, you can rent them as a regular hotel room, which is what we did. Or if you're a DVC member, obviously you use your points, or if you're using our rent trade board, our DVC rent trade board on disboards.com, you can rent someone else's points. They will make the reservation for you. And then you are staying there on points, so you would get access to that, even though you're not the member. So at least that's my understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm certain I'm going to be corrected quickly. But that's my understanding. But Bay Lake Towers, I thought a very nice addition. I know a lot of people weren't happy. They kind of consider it an eyesore. But I think it's been a great addition to.
I think it's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
And one thing we didn't mention was there's a walkway between Bay Lake Tower and the Contemporary main tower.
Right.
Which is really convenient. Although when it's raining, it's not completely closed in.
Yeah, it's a bit
you'll get
blustery
soaked.
up there as well.
It's very windy.
Now, coming back to the tower building, the Grand Canyon Concourse is where Chef Mickey's, the counter service restaurant, along with a couple of shopping venues and the arcade are located. And one of the things that disappointed me about the shopping here was that this is the only deluxe I've seen now that does not have logo merchandise.
Right.
Yeah.
We asked about it, and it seemed like, well, the cast member we asked seemed like she knows and she's upset. Like, we're supposed to get it in. They know that we're supposed to do this. I wish it would come in because I get this question like every day.
Right. But they also have some. It's also one of the nicer stores in Disney resorts. There's a lot of, clothing and some unique stuff. Also, a lot of the same stuff you see everywhere else.
Yeah, I found that. A lot of the same stuff you'd see.
Yeah. A lot of stuff says 2013 on it.
They had some art prints in there. What I was doing during this whole 7 and 7, I was trying to bring something for Ferris and Finley at the end
Right.
of every day, and trying to find something specific to that resort. Had no problem at Art of Animation. The All-Star resorts, obviously, going to have an issue. Coronado, found something. Fort Wilderness, found something. Didn't find anything here. Found something at Polynesian.
Yeah.
It's weird because this would be so easy to make merchandise for, because even the shape of the building is so iconic. So they put that on everything. It's even on their
Right.
costumes, I think. Just that
Yeah.
nice little silhouette of the building. So it would be easy to put that on things like a polo or I don't know why they
Why
don't do
not?
that.
This has been a pet peeve of mine for I can't tell you how long. Every resort should at the very least have its own T-shirt, something, a
Yeah.
coffee mug,
Coffee mug.
something that you can take home to remember your trip to that resort, as opposed to your trip to Walt Disney Parks and Resorts.
Well, the merchandise might be coming. I know at Monstrous Summer they showed us some upcoming merchandise. I can't remember if contemporary stuff was on
There wasn't anything there that had contemporary on it, but there was more deluxe resort merchandise and also DVC resort merchandise. So Old Key West.
Yeah, well, the DVC resorts always had their logo
Yeah.
merchandise.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever took that away. It was just
This is just a whole new line of stuff.
Well, I'm glad they're doing it somewhere. I just wish they do it everywhere.
Right.
Because Art of Animation had it, and Fort Wilderness had it, but we certainly didn't see anything at the All Stars. We didn't see anything at Coronado.
I think this is the only deluxe that doesn't, isn't it?
It is
pretty sure,
as
yeah.
far as I've seen. As far
Which is
as I've
weird.
seen.
It's the original. I don't know why.
But the arcade at the Contemporary is actually one of the larger ones,
Yeah.
and it's one of my favorites. It's just I don't know if it's the layout or what.
Well, what they've done here, I remember when I first went there, since they put the Fantasia shop in the middle of the concourse, that shop used to be one half of the arcade. It was in that side of the building.
Right, that's right.
So this arcade has doubled in size since they've put the Fantasia shop in the middle of the concourse. So it's huge now.
Really nice, really, really nice arcade. I really like it, and in particular the Fruit Ninja.
Yeah. Actually, a little history. The original arcade, I believe, used to be down where the Wave is by the
That
lobby.
is correct. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
and then
correct.
they moved it upstairs. But it's
That's
nice.
well, where the Wave is now, there was the arcade, and there was also your quick service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
was
that.
there, and now it's up on the concourse.
I love this arcade. Again, it's one of the larger ones, so it has the prize counter. You can go up and exchange your tickets for the prizes. We've yet to do that.
No, we haven't.
We've
We've got,
accrued like 5,000 tickets or something.
We have like all these arcade cards that we have to do something
Go
with.
get your bouncing balls.
Right, exactly. My jacks and my pickup sticks.
But overall, excellent experience.
There's also a gym open 24 hours a day there, which is very convenient, especially for if you've spent all day at the parks and you want to get a last minute.
Where is that
It's
located?
weird. It's on the cast member level where they do all their like event services stuff. So I think it's on level 3.
So would that
It's
be
either 3 or 4, and that's also where the salon used to be. I don't know if I think I remember hearing they closed that
You
salon.
used to get your haircut there.
I
Huh?
used to get my haircut there all the time.
the convention space is on the level directly below the concourse? Is that what you're talking
Is it
about?
a
No.
separate
This
building?
is
Yeah, no,
like
this is-
what would look like you would think it would be a guest floor, and it's not. So it's either the 3rd or 4th floor, and there's a lot of administrative offices there.
Okay.
But that's where the gym is, and that's also where the salon used to be. I think the salon is no more. But overall, very high marks to the Contemporary. Price point is definitely up there. This is not a value resort by any means, but its location, transportation options, I think, in and of itself, justify some of the premium at least.
I agree. I think you're talking about transportation. I think the Contemporary is the most well connected.
Yeah.
to
Boats,
anything.
monorails, buses,
Yeah.
walking. Yeah.
It's just a prime location, and it really is a good resort.
Awesome. All right. Well, that will do it for our coverage of Disney's Contemporary Resort as part of our 7 resorts in 7 nights. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, and remember, open your mind, explore the world.